What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So you guys asked for it. We're going to do it today. We're going to do a ranking of all the specialty sets, which ones are the best investments right now, which ones are the worst. And I was planning to do a video at the end of the year with everything. We're still going to do that. So this is going to be kind of just like a shorter video with just the ETBs. I know there are other products you can buy. For example, Prismatic, you could buy the Super Premium Collection. 151, you could buy the Ultra Premium Collection. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about the ETBs because all the sets have ETBs. You guys can see the ranking on the side. In the bottom tier, we have Beanie Babies are better, so you definitely do not want to end up in this tier. Meh, decent, great, and then S tier, which would be the best investments. And again, this is just my opinion. It's going to be a tiered list as well, so if you guys disagree, you'd put something higher or lower, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. With that said, we'll get a couple of these Sun and Moon sets out of the way. And I forgot to mention, this is going to be Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet Era. And we're even throwing in Black Bolt and White Flare into this conversation. But we'll start with Sun and Moon Era. Dragon Majesty, I'm going to put this in meh. And this might honestly end up a little bit lower on the list. Dragon Majesty, nothing too crazy in this set. It's kind of a weird box for me to recommend just because it's what, like $600 at this point. A lot of the value in buying a box like this is the scarcity, the fact that there really aren't that many on the market that you could buy. So it's fairly easily manipulated and we can see price jumps kind of come out of nowhere, if that makes sense. It's a box that I personally would not be buying. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but if you want to buy one, hey, go ahead. It's your money, not mine. So I'm going to leave it in meh, nothing too crazy there. Shining Legends, I'm probably going to put this in meh, but I could see why someone would put it higher. You have a couple decent cards in there. The best one, of course, being this Mewtwo GX, the Mewtwo, that's about $400. So it has a chase card that I think a lot of people will want to try and open in the future, but it's also a very expensive ETB at this point, and I think there's probably going to be better places to put your money. That being said, I wouldn't hate if someone put this in like decent tier at the back, kind of middle of the pack, middle of the pack, a little bit to the lower end. That's fine with me as well. I wouldn't be too upset about that. Now, Hidden Fates, I'm actually going to put this in decent. I don't think I can put it much higher just because it has had quite a run up over the past like 6 to 8 months, and especially even over the past couple months. We saw this jump from like $350. We're now sitting around $400. It might be moving towards $425. I'm going to put it middle of the road because there's still a lot of solid cards in this set. You have the Charizard up top, lots of the evolutions, and when I look at the data on eBay, there still isn't a lot out there. Like, we're not really seeing the inventory get replenished as fast as it's selling through. So there's still a world in my mind where this could move up to like 425, 440, maybe even 450 in the short term. And when you look at this list, I would probably recommend you guys look at it with maybe like at least a 3-year window, preferably a 5-year to 10-year investing window. If this box was still $100, $150, it would be much higher on the list, but around $400, I'm going to leave it middle of the pack. Now, next up, Champion's Path. I'm going to put this in meh, and I'm actually going to put it behind Shining Legends. And I'll put it in front of Dragon Majesty. I'm really not a fan of Dragon Majesty. There's still a lot of Champion's Path out there. Nothing too crazy in the set outside of the Charizard, which is a fairly cool card, I'll give it that, but lots of boxes out there. It really hasn't done anything crazy over multiple years at this point if we look at the box price here on TCG Player. And honestly, I should have been bringing up like the Sun and Moon Era ones as well, just to show you guys the graphs on TCG Player. Shining Legends, I know it says $515 on TCG Player. It's closer to $600, I think, at this point. Sales even higher than that. But Champion's Path, it is up 27% on the year. Like, great. That's interesting, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty solid return, but comparatively to a lot of other sets on this list, a lot of other boxes, this is horrible. And I can't put it much higher just because there's still a ton out there. And it's not the great set. So for the people that like Champion's Path, I'm sorry, I just can't put it higher. And the same thing's going to be with Shining Fates. I'm actually going to put this in Beanie Babies are better. Shining Fates just has nothing interesting. I mean, you have a Charizard in there, cool. There are so many boxes of Shining Fates out there, and they sell at a decent pace, but we're just seeing the inventory get replenished at this point. Even if they're selling at like 10 per day, it just seems like someone's adding 12 boxes more to eBay. So this box will undoubtedly move up as every other Elite Trainer box moves up. I mean, if we look at the 1-year chart of Shining Fates, we go to the 1-year chart here, up 117%. Hey, that's not bad. Like, more than doubled in a year. Awesome. But when I look at all of the other boxes out there right now, there are just so many better places to put your money. And I think long term, there's really just nothing in there that's going to make it be one of the top sets or even a decent investment comparatively to everything else. So for all of that reasoning, I'm leaving it in the bottom tier. And I just really hate Shining Fates. Shining Fates was one of those things I bought when I actually started investing. And then I realized that it was a terrible investment. I put it in a corner of my closet and I just waited until I could actually make a profit on it. But it served as a good reminder for me just to make sure if you guys are new to the hobby, not to just jump headfirst into everything and go crazy out the gate. Now, before we jump into the rest of the video, I wanted to come in here quickly and give a shout out to today's video sponsor, pokeinvesting. If you guys don't know what pokeinvesting is, it's a Discord service offering you the fastest notifications on drops, restocks, and deals on Pokemon product. They cover all the main regions of the world, all the main websites, Walmart, the Pokemon Center, Target, etc. There's a rumor going around that 151 booster bundles are going to be restocking at Walmart this week, so keep an eye out for that. Also, pokeinvesting has started a consignment service with competitive rates, so if you guys are looking to sell your cards, they do auctions and buy it now listings on Drip. I'll throw a photo up on screen so you can kind of see what you're expected to get paid out based on the value of your card. If you guys want their notification service, it's $7.99 a month, but you can jump in there for 3 days, try it out for free. After that, if you want to get a small discount, you can use the code PROFIT25 for 25% off your first month. I'll leave links in the description and pinned comment down below. And thank you to pokeinvesting for sponsoring the video. Now, next up, we have celebrations, and I'm actually going to put this at the front of decent. And my reasoning for this is when I look at the 5-year annualized ROI, not 5-year, but like 4-year at this point that Celebration's been out, the annualized ROI was in line with like Silver Tempest and Astral Radiant. So I think I put those in kind of the B tier, the middle tier when I was talking about the booster boxes in the last video I did from Sword and Shield era. So I'm happy putting it here in the middle. I think a lot of people buying this right now are speculating that when the 30th anniversary comes around, these boxes are just going to see a pump because it's an anniversary set. I really just don't like that logic. Again, like if you bought this box at 170, you've seen pretty decent gains in the short term. I just don't think the set holds up. I've talked about this in multiple videos. I'm just not really a fan of the stamps and just the reprinted cards. I mean, most people, if they want the card, whichever one it is, they're probably just going to want the original. So I'm just not really a fan of the gimmicks in Celebrations. I think most people weren't. That's why the return on investment wasn't super high over a 4-year period, which is a decent amount of data. And I think right now, a lot of this is just speculation. But hey, if you want to buy it right now in the hopes that next year in the 30th anniversary, you can sell it quickly in a pump, like that's where we kind of just get into trading at that point. It's not even like investing if you're trying to sell something within a year period. To me, that's just not ideal. And I think when we look at this, maybe 2 to 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we look back, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle of the road. Now, next up, Pokemon Go, probably one of the worst sets ever in my opinion. I just hate Pokemon Go. I actually like the Mewtwo alt, but outside of that, just nothing really interests me in the set. There isn't a ton of Pokemon Go on the market compared to like Shining Fate, so I'm contemplating if I should put it all the way down here and say Beanie Babies are better, or if I should put it a little bit higher. I think I'm gonna put it in trash tier as well. Say that it's down there with Shining Fates. I would not be buying Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is going to be a set like Shining Fates that I think just moves up over time with everything else. And again, look, like up over 100% on the year, great. But when you compare it to a lot of other sets that are up 200, 300%, it's clearly underperformed. It's going to continue more than likely underperforming a lot of the other boxes on this list. So don't be buying Pokemon Go. That's just my opinion and recommendation, but you guys do what you want. Again, it's your own money. Now, next up, Crown Zenith. I'm going to put this in great tier, but I was almost considering putting it in decent, like just right in front of Celebrations. Crown Zenith, it's slowed down a lot. We've seen these ETBs get fairly expensive. Packs in general have just climbed. We're up 277% on the year. So we've seen a lot of growth on this box. The reason why I'm putting it slightly higher than Celebrations, probably going to end up at the back of great tier if I put anything in front of it, but the reason I'm putting it in front of Celebrations and Hidden Fates is just because when I look at the pop reports and the amount of cards getting sent off to PSA, Crown Zenith is still getting ripped at a fairly decent rate, and it has a lot of unique original Pokemon cards in there with fan favorites that I think people will want to chase in the future. It's got that enjoyable opening experience. So For all of those reasons, I'm going to put it slightly higher than Celebrations in the grade tier. Now, next up, 151. I'm going to put this in grade as well, and I'm going to put it in front of Crown Zenith. And I kind of hate doing that just because these regular ETBs are almost $260. I mean, TCG players now saying they are $260, almost $261. We've seen crazy growth, up 300% on the year. You could have been buying these for like $60 a year ago, which is wild. Most recent sales, $280 and $275. I think these are just going to keep going. We're almost at the 2-year age of 151. We all know that manufacturing ETBs is a slower process compared to things like booster bundles and other products. Maybe Pokemon's margins on them aren't as great either compared to like poster collections or binder collections. So I don't think we're getting any more 151 ETBs. There's still a possibility, like you never know, and maybe that's why some people would put it lower on the list. Maybe some people even have it higher, but I could see the argument why you'd want to put it lower just because it's still in print. There is a possibility we get more. I understand all that, but 151, it's going to be a timeless set. All these people that were brought back to the hobby from 151, tons of popular characters, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, the Zapdos, Alakazam. I think it's very difficult rationalizing, at least in my mind, putting this any lower. So for that reason, I'm going to leave it in great tier. I still think there's better places to put your money. I think that if you don't have a huge budget, I probably wouldn't be buying a lot of 151 ETBs. Maybe you just want to go with like booster bundles or another product that has a more friendly entry point. But with all that said, I'm going to leave it in great tier 151. I don't think that's going to be too unpopular of an opinion. Next up, Paldean Fates. I'm going to put this in decent and put it in front of Celebrations. I think some people would probably put this a little bit higher on the list as well, and that's fine. We've seen insane growth on this box over the past year, up 367%. You could have been buying these for the same price as like 151 or Crown Zenith a year ago. They're now $200 an ETB. It really is wild. The Bubble Mew played a huge role in this. That went from like 80, $90 up to around 400 at its peak. I don't even know what it's at now, but people will want to chase that card in the future. The Charizard and Gardevoir are nice cards. I'm not really a fan of baby shinies. And when I just think about the opening experience for the average collector or hobbyist, they're probably going to enjoy breaking Crown Zenith more than Paldean Fates. So I'm just thinking in the future, what's going to happen to supply and quantity. Also, Paldean Fates is a much newer set. There's still potential we get more ETBs. That's definitely a more likely possibility than Crown Zenith or 151 getting more ETBs, in my opinion. Maybe some people would put it up here in great tier, maybe even higher or lower. I think it's middle of the road at $200 in ETB. If you're buying these at like 40, $50, $100 even a few months ago, then yeah, it probably would be a lot higher on the list. But right now, around $200, I think there is better places to put your money. Now, next up, we have Shrouded Fable. And you can see here the ETBs are sitting around $67. So just keep that in mind when I'm making my recommendation. Shrouded Fable, no huge crazy chase card in the set. You have the Persian IR. The Pheasantipede was up there just because it was playable. You had the Earthen Vessel. Then we had, what else? The Houndoom and a couple other cards. I'm actually going to put this in decent, at the back of decent. And although I wouldn't be surprised if something like Shining Legends potentially outperforms Shrouded Fable over the next 3 to 5 years, Shrouded Fable is, I think, one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest specialty set out there right now. You can still get a decent amount of these boxes. You can find cases fairly easily. So if you're a new investor, you don't have a ton of money, this is a decent product to put your money into. There's not a ton of downside. Shrouded Fable is a newer set, but are they really going to print more ETBs of this set when they have so much else to do with like Prismatic, Surging, Destined Rivals? I mean, they're going to have to just start leaving sets. And I can't imagine Shrouded Fable is at the top of Pokemon's priorities in terms of printing. So I'm going to leave it at the back of decent. Some people might put it a little bit lower. That's fine. I'm happy with this. Now, next up, Prismatic Evolutions. You guys already know this is going in S tier. Maybe this is cope because I have a large position, but these ETBs sitting around $100 right now. There are a decent amount out there. The Costco drop definitely put a lot more on the market. That said, we have never seen an ETB sell at the rate that Prismatic is selling at continuously, and it's up to $112 at this point, guys. Remember when these were like $95 and people were saying these were going to MSRP? That just made 0 sense. I mean, we were seeing them sell at like $90 per day, buy it now, eBay North America, which is just ridiculous. because the second highest I think we've ever seen when we tracked the ETBs was Celebrations over the past couple weeks, which got up to like 20. Shining Fates, I think, broke 10 maybe the odd time, like once every few weeks. And Prismatic has definitely fallen off in terms of sell-through rate. We're seeing these at maybe like 30 to 40 regular ETBs selling by it now every day on eBay at this point, but that's still much higher than anything else. When you look at pop reports, Prismatic is still getting pushed on PSA and all these other grading companies. Lots of cards getting graded, lots of packs being opened. We still have 10 cards over $100, 13 over $90. The Umbreon's still, $900 to $1,000. A lot of the other evolutions are above 200. The Sylveon, the Leafeon, those are like above 250. And people can say whatever they want about the rainbow borders, about the crowns, but the reality is Pokemon, I look at it as gambling at this point. People that are opening packs, they really are just trying to chase dopamine. They're chasing God packs. They're chasing these expensive SIRs. So considering Prismatic is the only set with a legit God pack, I know 151 has demigod packs. Prismatic has a full God pack with all the evolutions. They also have the demigod packs where you get 3 SIRs. It really is a great investment. It's definitely still a little bit of a gamble in the short term. I could see why someone would put it maybe even all the way down here in decent if you think that more ETBs are coming. But I look at 151, I look at Paldean Fates, I look at all these other sets coming out. Pokemon just hasn't given us more ETBs. So until they start doing that, I'm just going to assume that after the initial print run of ETBs, we're not really likely to get more. You combine that with the rumored rise in MSRP, you combine that with Prismatic already being over 6 months old. Guys, people talk like this set is still brand new, right? Like a print run for a set is normally 2 years. We're already 25% of the way through Prismatic's theoretical print run. So I do think it's a bit weird when people talk about Prismatic saying that, it's going to be time to pick up the ETBs in like a year from now. Well, if you waited 18 months to pick up 151 ETBs, you would be paying $240, $250 for them. And then finally, we have Black Bolt and White Flare. I know I only brought up the image of Black Bolt. I understand that the sets have different cards as well, so I probably should have split them into 2 different rankings, but I'm going to put them both in meh right now, and I'm actually I don't think it really matters that much where I put it. I'm going to put it at the front. Why not? I mean, you could put it lower on the list. I think that these sets are interesting in the sense that the God packs really intrigue me. They have some decent top chase cards like the Zekrom and the Reshiram black and white cards, the Victini straight red card, the Zekrom and Reshiram SIRs are cool, End's Plan is decent, Kyurem's up there, there's a couple other SIRs, we have a Shinji Kanda Seismitoad, so the sets aren't going to be huge flops, but at $90, an ETB, a regular ETB, a brand new set, I just would not be putting my money here. If you guys want to buy like one of each, just to have some exposure in the event that prices don't come down, that's fine. But I think like Prismatic, I think like Surging, which we're about to see with the Costco ETBs coming, there's going to be better opportunities to get into this set. And I also just don't see it as good as something like Paldean Fates, like 151, like Prismatic. I definitely see it as a tier or 2 below those sets. If we were doing this video 18 months from now and they were $90, I'd probably put them like all the way up here in great, because I think it probably will play out similar to Crown Zenith. I don't think same level. I think Crown Zenith is probably a better set. There's more popular Pokemon in Crown Zenith, but just in terms of a set where people are going to want to open it because there's decent pull rates, lots of IR cards, the fact that there is potential for God packs, it's going to be something I think a lot of people want to rip and have fun enjoying, whether alone or with their friends. So if you are considering buying Black Bolt or White Flare, definitely keep an eye on it, just see what happens over, say, the next 6 to 8 months, and then develop a plan to try and get into the set and build your investments. But that is going to be it for the video. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. What would you move up? What would you move down? Again, if you want to get restock notifications or sell your cards, go check out PokeNotify. Links in the description down below. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.